Let's just dive right into one of the most critical, yet honestly kind of misunderstood, backbones of modern web development, the ASP.NET Core request pipeline. Today's overarching theme, it's really all about control versus chaos. The web is just inherently this messy, unpredictable place, right? So we're going to see exactly how the rigid, structured gauntlet of the middleware pipeline is literally your application's absolute best defense against all that relentless chaos.
So, to really get this, let's look at the actual stakes we're dealing with. Imagine, just picture this, 100,000 concurrent requests hitting your Kestrel server all at the exact same time. We are talking about a literal storm of malformed payloads, expired security tokens, chaotic routing conflicts, all just crashing into your app simultaneously. It's a lot, right? So how does the application host actually survive this? Well, it survives by subjecting every single incoming request to a very inflexible, strictly sequential sequence.
Here's the roadmap for our explainer today. We're covering 1. Surviving web chaos, 2. The anatomy of a request, 3. The golden execution order, 4. Scaling to enterprise factories, and finally 5. Escaping the dependency trap.
Okay, Section 1, Surviving Web Chaos, the Pipeline Defense.
So, the core mechanism making that survival possible, it's middleware. By definition, middleware is this inflexible, sequential gauntlet that every single HTTP request just has to pass through in the web application. Think of it like a strict series of filters. Literally nothing gets to your core business logic without passing through this exact sequence first.
Moving right along to Section 2, Anatomy of a Request, Mechanics of Flow.
I love this analogy. Think of your ASP.NET Core pipeline like a highly secure cyber airport checkpoint. Every single HTTP request is just a passenger trying to catch a flight, and their HTTP context object, that's their passport. The middleware components are basically the independent security gates they have to clear to reach their final destination, which, in this case, is the controller or endpoint. So maybe Gate 1 is logging, kind of acting like a security camera. Gate 2 is the ID check, validating their authorization, and they have to successfully clear each and every checkpoint, one by one.
But here's the thing, the pipeline isn't just a one-way street. The architecture actually forms this U-shape. The incoming request goes down the rabbit hole, passing through node A, then B, then C on the way in. But, and this is crucial, it also intercepts the outgoing response on the way back out in reverse order, so C, then B, then A. The middleware filters the request coming in, and then it can totally modify the response going out.
This whole flow is driven by something called the chain of responsibility pattern. When a request hits a middleware node, that node has 3 distinct powers. First, it can act on the request, like, say, reading a header. Second, it can pass control to the next node in the sequence, using delegation, which is that await next command we see in code. Or third, it can just refuse to call next and terminate the chain entirely. And that third power, terminating the chain, is what we call short-circuiting, and honestly, it has a massive impact at the enterprise level. Take that ID check node we mentioned. If a user's token is invalid, the middleware just returns a 401 unauthorized status code and exits right there. No calling the next delegate. This saves all your downstream components, like complex routing logic or really heavy database calls, from having to process that unauthenticated load. It literally stops bad traffic right at the door.
Which brings us to Section 3, the Golden Execution Order, Strict Dependencies.
Because these nodes are sequential, the order we place them in is absolutely critical. I really cannot emphasize this enough. Order is not a suggestion, it is a strict mechanical dependency. Exception handling must be at the very top so it can catch errors bubbling up from anywhere deeper in the pipeline. If you accidentally put routing before authentication, you could totally expose secure endpoints. No way do you want that. And if exception handling is placed too late, you risk leaking sensitive internal stack traces to the public web. You absolutely have to follow this golden order to keep the whole system secure and stable.
Okay, let's jump into Section 4, Enterprise Factories, Architecture Scale.
When we actually construct this pipeline in code, there are 3 core methods you're going to use. App.Use is your standard non-terminal handoff. It does its job and just calls the next node. Then there's app.Run. That's your terminal delegate. It executes logic, but never calls next, which effectively ends the pipeline. And finally, app.Map acts as a router. It lets you branch the pipeline based on the URL path. That one is fantastic for isolating things like admin portals or multi-tenant logic.
So when developers move past basic inline code, they usually build Level 2 standard convention middleware. It beautifully encapsulates the logic into a reusable C# class. Sounds great, right? But this approach relies on a sort of magic instantiation by the framework at startup. And honestly, that magic hides an incredibly dangerous flaw when it comes to dependency injection.
Which leads us to a really vital question. What actually happens if you just innocently inject a scoped service, like a database context, into the constructor of this conventional middleware? Well, it results in catastrophic failure. Since convention-based middleware is instantiated only once at application startup, it naturally has a singleton lifetime. So if you inject a scoped service, like your database context, it gets artificially promoted to a singleton. Now every single concurrent request hitting your app will try to use the exact same database connection. The gears just grind together, you get massive thread collisions, and the application simply crashes under the load.
So how do we actually fix this? Let's move to Section 5, the dependency trap, escaping captives, and implementing the professional solution.
To understand the fix, we kind of have to recognize what we just created there, a captive dependency. A long-lived singleton middleware has permanently trapped the short-lived scope DB context inside it. The inevitable result? Memory leaks, invalid operation exceptions, and concurrent connection exhaustion. Yikes. The cure is that we need to completely change how the middleware is instantiated by using a factory pattern. And here is the proof of exactly why that matters. Look at this matrix. While standard convention middleware is super reusable, it totally fails on DI safety. The enterprise factory pattern, on the other hand, which implements the strict iMiddleware interface, forces the framework to resolve the middleware per request. It gives you perfect DI isolation, native testability, and literally zero captive dependencies. I love the quote at the bottom here. Senior engineers don't just write code that works, they write code that prevents junior engineers from making mistakes. And speaking of preventing mistakes, mastering this pipeline also means mastering memory management. There are 3 absolute rules here. First, beware the state machine trap. Do not try to modify HTTP headers after you've called await next, because the response has already started sending. Second, prevent context leaks by never storing the HTTP context in a background thread. It literally dies the moment the request completes. And third, always ensure graceful shutdowns to prevent thread starvation and nasty deadlocks.
All of this brings us to the ultimate goal, the perfected pipeline. When you combine all these elements together, your system is securely locked in, execution order is strict, early short-circuiting is active, which saves your database from all that bad traffic, iMiddleware factories are deployed, and your DI scopes are perfectly isolated with absolutely no captives. When you achieve this, you've mastered the pipeline, and you finally control the chaos of the web.
So I'll leave you with a bit of a provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Go look at your application startup file today. Is your current pipeline a mastered asset utilizing enterprise factories? Or is it a hidden liability, secretly trapping dependencies and just waiting for a traffic spike to crash the whole shebang? Thanks for hanging out with me, and I really hope this gives you the exact tools you need to elevate your